Let's move over to this story now. 2 of the 3 new Limpopo MECs have been sworn in, but the SACP is rejecting the Limpopo cabinet reshuffle. The province's Premier, Stan Mathabatha, has replaced 3 MECs. Now, he says the aim is to improve service delivery in the province. eNCA's Moloko Moloto is following that story for us and brings us these very latest developments. So, Pule, we have been talking across the different provinces around the different political developments that are happening in Limpopo. As I've just read in my intro, we have the reshuffle that happened in the province, and of course some bodies not happy, particularly the SACP. What do you have in terms of developments for us?
Hello, Rofua. Well, indeed, we are in Limpopo, in Polokwane, where the Premier, Stan Mathabatha, yesterday announced changes in the Provincial Executive Committee. He has fired 3 MECs and replaced them with 3 new ones. Their names, the names of the new MECs: Rogers Monama, who will be heading the economic development portfolio, and then Florence Radzilani, who is the provincial chairperson of the ANC. She is going to be the MEC of Transport and Community Safety Department, and then Nakedi Sibanda-Kekana, who is the provincial treasurer of the governing party, is going to be responsible for the sport, arts and culture portfolio. Just a short while ago, there's 2 actually of the 3. We have not seen Miss Florence Radzilani, but the 2 new MECs were sworn here by Judge Ephraim Makgoba. I would like to bring the man responsible for all these decisions, the Premier of Limpopo, Stan Mathabatha. Tonakgolo Thobela. We have seen the changes that you have made in the Provincial Executive Council. This is the second one, I think, the second one since you were re-elected as chairperson of the ANC in June. I mean, what informs these rapid changes that you are making?
Remember, like we always said, that there is continuous assessment. There will always be assessment in the Executive Council and the performance of various departments. At the end of the day, after those assessments, you'll see changes coming in. So, based on those changes, we decided to come up with this. Based on that assessment, we decided to come up with these changes.
Yeah. Interestingly, and you know this question was coming, you have brought into your cabinet 2 former mayors whose municipalities, the Vembe district as well as the Lepelle municipalities, deposited respectively 300 million rand and 150 million rand unlawfully into the now defunct VBS, MEC Florence Radzilani and MEC Sibanda-Kekana. You know that obviously people will question, why do you bring people who, under whose watch money disappeared? Why do you elevate them?
I don't know as to whether that is elevation. Remember, in government we don't have tiers of government. We've got 3 different spheres of government which operates autonomously. The local government is autonomous. There is no big brother, little brother in these spheres of government. So if somebody doesn't perform well in one sphere, it does not necessarily follow that he or she will also not perform well in another sphere of government. But when we made assessment within all those who were in government, we realized that we need to give an opportunity to those who bears experience, because at the end of the day, you need to bring in changes that are not going to surprise you. People with experience, people you can be rest assured that they will bring a difference to the lives of our people on the ground.
But Premier, did you not consider this VBS saga, especially considering that there was a huge outcry, but also you as Premier and also as chairperson of the ANC, we saw the ANC taking action, removing all the mayors who did not recover their money, including the 2 that you have now appointed MECs?
By now, you should be knowing that we have made lots and lots of investigations, and we are confident that by now, if there was anything untoward, these 2 comrades would have been charged. But now, the reason why we recalled them that time, it was because of another investigation that we conducted ourselves, which said apparently they had failed in their fiduciary responsibility of making oversight over those who were supposed to take those decisions, but not necessarily that they are the ones who took the decisions.
Yeah, I want to ask you, as I move away from this VBS matter, your response. I'm not too sure if you have seen the media statement issued by the South African Communist Party in Limpopo, your tripartite alliance partner. They say they reject this reconfiguration on its entirety, saying that the VBS matter was unlawful and immoral, and all those implicated must resign from your cabinet. What's your reaction?
I'm a bit concerned about that statement, but definitely the organization, being the African National Congress, will respond to that statement. Because the organization, being the African National Congress, consulted with the South African Communist Party before these changes were made, and they did not raise these issues that they are raising in that memo. But all in all, they are an independent organization. They are entitled to their views. So, well, that is their view.
Yeah. A final question for you, Premier. I suppose when you make new appointments, you call those ones that you want to appoint and say, hey, I've given you this offer, you are available and all that. Those that you are removing from Executive Council, do you warn them prior? And I'm asking this in the context of the fact that we know that former MEC Moloko was apparently chairing a strategic session of the department, and the former MEC Dr. Dixon Masemola of Social Development was actually representing you as Premier in one event of the province, and the MEC of Sports and Culture is out of the country in Zimbabwe, and I suppose he would not have left the country without your permission. Now, when these people go out on these missions and only to hear that they have been removed, do you tell them even before perhaps they could decide on such missions?
It depends on the style of operation of a particular premier and the reasons why he is doing that. In as far as I'm concerned, I don't want to leave a lacuna, within the operations of government because of that. Like, for instance, now, if you could remember, yesterday I had deployed Comrade Dixon, the MEC for social development elsewhere. Former MEC for social development. I deployed him elsewhere. Had I told him beforehand, human beings are social, yes, not necessarily. I wanted to say they are subjective beings also. They are also subjective beings. So had I told him before, he would not be in the position, even though he would have wanted to, he would not be in the position to give his all in that deployment, and that would have affected his subjectivity, would have affected the ordinary people on the ground. And Comrade Tandi, Comrade Mukoni, and Comrade Nandi, they are in Namibia. Is it Namibia or Zimbabwe? In Zimbabwe, currently, I want them to perform to their ability. I can't recall her because she's no longer MEC. I take it the situation should be a continuous situation, whereby when she comes back from Zimbabwe, she will still operate as an MEC there, represent the MEC for that department. Yeah. When she comes back, she'll report to the new MEC, because she still remains a member of the legislature, a member of the ruling party. So there is no lacuna anywhere.
Chupu Maramadipekwa, Tonaholo ya Limpopo. Thank you very much. The man who is also known as Action Commander within the political circles. And he is known not to be shy when it comes to shuffling or reshuffling his cabinet. I just can't count how many people he has shuffled and reshuffled since he took over as the #1 citizen of Limpopo province. Back to you, Rofiwa.
I suppose if he's not happy with someone's performance, then he's got the prerogative to make the necessary changes. Very insightful interview there by reporter Moloko Moloto with the Premier of Limpopo.